Hey you guys, Oracle DBA girl here. Today I want to do a tutorial with you all over manual clones. Um, the type of clone that we're doing is a cold clone. And basically, since it's manual, we're not using RMAN. We're going to do it user managed, meaning we're going to walk through step by step manually with this clone. Um, I think this type of clone is extremely important to do so that you will know what's going on behind the scenes with a clone if you are using RMAN. So we're gonna do this. Also, cloning is my favorite thing to do. There's several reasons why I like cloning. Um, it's just engaging to me. You have to be very attentive to what you're doing. Attention to detail is so important when cloning. Those are just some of the reasons why I love to clone. I guess we can go ahead and get into this. Before we get started, the first thing I want to do is just show you all my environment. I'm going to source my database profile. And what I want to do is go to my Oracle Home right quick. I'm going to do Oracle Home, go back one directory. Now I'm coming here to show you all my environment. So this tells me, let me do PWD just so you all can see the directory structure. Okay, this tells me that for 12.1.0.2, I have two databases. I have a PatchDB and a TestDB. Now, we are going to do this like the way that I can explain it is, let's say you only have one database. Let's say you just installed a test database or whatever the name is of your database. You just installed that database. All you have is one database. Well, we're going to copy that database and make a brand new database. I have PatchDB and TestDB, but we're going to create a DevDB. So if you only have one database, you're still okay. You can follow along with every step that I'm going to do because we're going to create a DevDB database. So we can go ahead and get started now that you all know exactly what we're going to do. The first thing we have here with a start, which is very important, is take some type of backup before starting. Okay, I've already taken my backup. I use snapshots with Oracle VirtualBox. If you want to, you can use RMAN or you can do a user managed backup. Either one of those things will work. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. This says create target file system. Let's start right there. Create target file system. Pretty sure some of you are like, what is that? I'll go ahead and explain. Okay. Well, we have a PatchDB and we have a TestDB. Both of those are going to be like file systems. So what we want to do now, remember we're creating a new file system. So you want to do make directory DevDB. So if we do ls, you have DevDB, PatchDB, TestDB, but there's nothing in DevDB because we just created it. So we just created the file system for this database basically. Okay, so number 2 says copy database files from source DB home to target DB. Okay, now we are going to use TestDB as a source database. And whatever database you have there, that's the one that you will be using as a source. TestDB is going to be our source. DevDB is going to be our target. So what this is saying is it wants us to copy everything that's in, as you can see the URL, TestDB. It wants us to copy everything that's in TestDB to DevDB. So I'm going to CD back one. Okay. And I'm going to do copy minus RF TestDB star. That means everything. And then I'm going to do DevDB period for here. Okay, so that's going. I'm pretty sure you all know this is going to take quite some time. So what I will do here is I will pause this video. When this is completed, I'll be back and we can move on. Okay, this just completed. So if we go to DevDB, you all can see all the data, all the directories and files are here in that location. Okay, so we're gonna move right along. Next, it says change listener and TNS info to target information. So remember, we just copied TestDB to DevDB. So what we want to do is now we want to go into DevDB, network, admin, because we want to change our listener.org and our TNS names.org to match up for DevDB. So we're gonna first let's VI into the listener.org. Okay, as you can see, it says TestDB, but it's in the DevDB directory structure. So we are going to do colon %s TestDB, and we're going to change that to DevDB. Okay, so that's done. Also, we don't want them listening on the same port. So right now it says port 1521. We're going to change that to, well, for me, I'm going to change it to 1527. Okay, so that's taken care of. Everything else can stay the same. All right, so now we're going to VI into tnsnames.org. So we're going to do the same thing here. TestDB, change it to DevDB. And now we'll do lowercase TestDB, DevDB, DevDB, DevDB. Gotta pay attention to everything you're typing. Okay, so now we have to change 1521 to 1527. Okay, so that's that. We're gonna right quit. So we just completed this portion. Now we're on number 2. It says copy data files from source database to target database. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is check our data files. You want to make sure that you are in your source database. So I'm gonna echo Oracle SID, and you're gonna see me do this a lot because you definitely want to always ensure you're on the right database. So we're gonna log in here. This is our source database, remember? And okay, so this lets us know the location of our database file. Now remember, we have to copy our source database into the target database area. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to C UO2 data. Now if you look here, there's no DevDB. So the first thing we want to do is make directory DevDB. Now we have that there. We have TestDB directory structure. Okay, let's look at our notes. Make sure source database is down. That's definitely important because if that database is up, this clone will not work. So let's go ahead and take care of that now. Shut down, immediate. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, this says create target control file location. Should be at least 2 locations. Okay, we just created 1 location. And I'm gonna show you all in depth what this is talking about, okay? So we're waiting for this to go down. Now we are in the source location. So what we're gonna do is cd to Oracle Home DBS, and we're gonna VI to init testdb.org, right? Okay, it's already there. You see control files? There's 2 locations. One of them is going to be in UO2 data. This is the file we just created. Instead of TestDB, it's going to say DevDB. And the second location is UOP app Oracle fast recovery TestDB, except for we're going to put DevDB. So we have to go create this second location for the control file. Okay, so as you all can see, just to verify, because you can never verify too much when cloning, we already have a DevDB there. So we want to go to Oracle Base, Fast Recovery Area. And as you can see, they have PatchDB, TestDB, but there is no DevDB. If we cd to PatchDB, you see that control file we saw in the init testdb.org. And if we cd to TestDB, you see the same control file. So now we have to make one for DevDB. So we'll make a DevDB directory here. And as you all can see, we have DevDB. Now, when we go about creating the control file and it's open in the database, it will create a DevDB folder such as this. So that is done basically. So we're moving on. It says copy the data files. Okay, so since we're going to copy the data files, we're going to go to CU02 CD data. Wherever your data files were, you just go to that location. Now, again, you just definitely want to double check, triple check, however many times you can, making sure your database is not up at this portion. So I'm going to do ps-es grep test db. Now, as you all can see, the only thing that is up here is my listener. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to copy -rf testdb star. I want to copy the data files to the DevDB here. So, okay, again, this is going to take a second. I'm going to let this run. I will be back shortly. Okay, so we're back, and if we go into DevDB, you all will see that the control files are there. Well, the data files are there. The next thing says we want to delete control files from both locations. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and remove control file. We are deleting the control file from both locations. If you remember correctly, there is no file in the other location because we just created it. But I will take you all back there so that you can see. If we go to DevDB, right now there's no control file. What's going to happen is we're going to create the control file for this database later. We just have to go change some information. You all will see what's happening as we go further along. Okay, this says startup source database, not the target, but the source database. So again, let's echo Oracle SID. We are TestDB. So let's do SQL plus as sysdba and startup open. Okay, so that's starting up. Okay. If you look at number 4, it says create P file from source database. Your P file is your parameter file. It is the file the database uses to gather information to start up from your control file, among other things. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing we're going to do is go to where the P file is located. Okay, so we are here, and let's see, it says create P file from source database. So now we are going to create a new profile, a new P file. Create target P file from source database. So what we're going to do is, we've already sourced our profile. Here we're going to log into SQL Plus, and we're going to do create P file equals, this is going to be init devdb.ora from P file. Let me, oh, I'm sorry, that should be SP file. I'm glad I didn't mess that up. It should be SP file. And it seems to be still missing something. So let me see here. From SP file. Okay, that's what it was. I told you, you all have to be extremely careful when you are doing any type of command. To be honest, we should write stuff like this in Notepad and then copy it over, just so that you can see what you're typing and you won't be so quick to make errors. But we're testing, so we're fine. Now, if we exit here and we do ls minus t, LTR, I'm sorry, you see it right here, initdevdb.org. We're going to move this. I believe that is the next step. You do it so much, you just know by heart what it is you're supposed to do. So we're going to move the it.newsid.org from the source database target, from the source database to the target database file system. So let's do this. pwd, this is where we are. So what we're going to do is move initdevdb. We're going to go back 1, 2, and then do devdb dbs. Okay, so it's no longer here. We just moved it. We moved it to the same location, but under devdb. Okay, as you all can see, it is right here, initdevdb.org. So now that we've moved it, let's move on to the next step. We're on number 6. It says edit init.newsid.org. Change source SID to target SID. You want to do the lowercase SID and the uppercase SID. So vi into initdevdb.org. Okay, as you can see, everything is still referencing testdb. This is how we're going to start up our new DevDB database. So we got to make sure everything in here is correct. So the first thing we do is we got to change everything. We're going to look for testdb lowercase, and we're going to change it to devdb. Okay, that's taken care of. The next thing we're going to do is do testdb, and we're going to change that to devdb. Okay, so that seems to be everything. I'm just double checking, making sure. You can never make sure enough. And as a matter of fact, I believe this right here is supposed to be capital. Let me check just to be on the safe side. I'm going to right click this, and I'm going to cd into Oracle Home Network, ADMIN. TestDB there. Let's look in TNS names. Okay, see, this is uppercase. So I'm going to change this to uppercase. I would like for them to be consistent across the board. So I'm going to cd back and vi into initdev. Okay, and right here, I'm going to change this to devdb. Right click that. Okay, so let's move right along. We have completed our parameter file. Everything is great there. So number 7, it says in source database, create the control file script. So you need a control file in order for your database to start. So we're going to create a control file specific for our DevDB database. And this is the command we're going to use. You all can just copy and paste. I'm going to upload this document to my Google Drive so that you all can have access to this document in case you need it. So I'm going to log back into SQL Plus. Okay, so database alter. It just created a trace of the control file to temp control.sql. So I'm going to exit out of here. The next step is going to be for us to edit that file, but I'll let you all see it. See, it says edit control.sql. So we're going to go to the location, which is temp There it is. And we're going to VI into the control.SQL. Okay. Now we're going to follow step by step here so that we would know what to do. The first line says delete everything until second startup NoMount. So let's start there. We're going to go all the way to the top. And remember, it says to delete everything until second start NoMount. So I'm just going to start hitting D. And I know I'm going a little fast, you all, because for the most part, you should be comfortable with doing some of the things that I am doing. I'm just really trying to walk you through the cloning process. This is the first startup NoMount. So we're going to delete here. We're going to keep going, keep going, keep going until we get to the second one. Okay, this is the second startup NoMount. So let's go to the next one. It says change reuse to set. So here's reuse. Here it says to change it to set. Okay, so we've done that. Okay, change source seed to target seed. You want to do lowercase as well as uppercase. So let's go ahead and make that happen. Test DB to DevDB. Now we want to do it for lowercase. Test DB to DevDB. Okay, we've done that. Okay, so we just completed this bullet. The next bullet says copy temp file script. Okay, my computer is already there. You wanna, let me go to the top to show you all what we just, I'm scrolling all the way down to the bottom. And then you should see something that says auto table space temp add. You want to copy that script from the semicolon. Now I have a step where we're going to need that later here. So if you had a document pulled up, you just go to step number 12 and you paste it there because we're going to use that later. My computer is having a problem copying it. There it is. Okay, so we're going to go back up to number 8. We just copied the temp file script. Now it says delete everything under character set, blah, 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 semicolon. So let's scroll up till we get to, this is character set, semicolon. So we want to delete everything here. Just delete everything. Okay, now let's see what's next. The next one says to save the file. That's it. If I were you all, I'll just double check, make sure you don't see anything crazy. Make sure you see DevDB. You know, just check if you need to go over all these things again to make sure that you did them. But I'm pretty confident we did everything, so I'm gonna right quit. Okay, now that we've done that, it says create file structure and profile for target database. Okay, I need to erase this because we've already created the file structure. If you all remember, let's go to Oracle Home. And then if we CD back one, we have DevDB. So the file structure has already been created. So it says profile, create profile for target database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to CD to my home directory. And I'm going to copy whatever your profile is, you want to copy it. So what I'm going to do, mine is profile.testdb. I want to copy that to .profile .devdb. Okay, now that we've done that, I'm going to VI into .profile.devdb. Now, what I want to do here is I want to get rid of everything that says testdb. So I'm going to do a search and replace for testdb to devdb. Just to make sure, I'm going to make sure that there's no uppercase testdb here. I don't think there is, but it's better to be safe than sorry. There wasn't any. So, okay, I'm going to right quit. Okay. Let's see what we have here now. Where am I? Okay. Create profile for target database. Okay, we've done that. Okay, this says create audit directory. Okay, this is going to be your dump file location. This is where our Oracle is going to write to when it's creating the control file. And we need to make sure that this directory is there. So I'll show you how to get to it. We're going to do cd Oracle base admin. And it's here. As you can see, we already have one for PatchDB and TestDB. Now we have to create the file that's in here. So as you can see, it has an admin and PatchDB. If we go to TestDB, you see it has an A dump and a D dump here, but we just really need to make sure that A dump is completed. So what we're going to do is come here and we're going to do make directory DevDB. Let's do it like this. Make directory minus P DevDB / ADUMP. Okay, so now you see the DevDB is there. If we go to DevDB, it has an A dump directory. So, all right, let's go back. And as you all can see, that's exactly what we did there. Make directory new SID, which was DevDB A dump. So number 10 says to source target profile and open database with, let's put target P file, the P file that we created. So what we're going to do is we're going to do cd to take us back home. And we're going to do .profile.devdb. Okay, so that's done. And it wants us to open a database with the target P file. So the first thing we're going to do is cd to Oracle home DBS. Just to verify our profile is working. You all see it took us to DevDB, not TestDB. So we know that it's working. So now we're going to use this file to start up our database. So we're going to SQL plus as sysdba. And basically we're just going to start up NoMount P file equal to new init.org file. So we're making progress. We're actually almost done, you guys. So we're going to do startup. What was it? Startup mount or no mount? Startup no mount P file equals, just going to copy and paste this. If you run into an error, you probably did something wrong in the init.devdb.org file, but it should start up no problem. I don't want to pause this because I want you all to just see. I think it's better for you all to see what's going on here. So it'll be okay if we have to hurry up and wait. We're always doing that as DBAs, just waiting, just hurry up and wait with everything. The life of a DBA. So that is done. It started up. Everything works fine. So now we are going to create the control file within this database. So it says cd to the temp directory. So let's do that. Okay. And it says source target profile, because again, you can never be too sure. What we would do is we will make sure that we have the right target, echo Oracle SID DevDB, so we're okay. Okay, so now it's just telling us that we're going to run this script. So what we're going to do is log in to SQL Plus and control.sql. Okay, that's fine. If you get this, this is fine because the database is already up. Now, if your control file did not create successfully, you edit that file incorrectly. When we were doing number 8, I believe, you did something incorrect here. Go back and check to make sure your control.sql is correct or your init.devdb.org file is correct. But if you did everything correct, you should not have a problem. So we just created the control file. So now what we're about to do is, it says we're going to create the temp files. If you notice, that's number 12. All we got to do is copy that and just come over here and paste it. Okay, it says database not open. Okay, we skipped a step. And that happens. But thank God that's not detrimental. So all we got to do is just alter database, reset, wait, let me see, open, reset logs. Let me make sure I did that right. Alter database, open, reset log. Alter database, open, reset logs. So we're opening the database and we're resetting the log. So let me scroll down. As you all can tell, we're almost done. The database is really completed at this time. Hurry up and wait. Okay, database altered. So now we are going to copy and paste this script. Okay, just created the temp file. Okay, and now we're on verify the clone is complete. So for this stuff, I'm just gonna copy and paste the majority of it. We're just checking to make sure everything is fine. Okay, status is open, and select name from $V data file. Okay, so you see where our data files are. It's the system has registered that. Another thing that I want to do that I don't have there just is let's do $V database. That's the name of our database. So select distance status from V data files. This is to check that your data files are online. And it says online in system. And I put that there so you'll know what you should be expecting. So, okay, we're going to copy this. And what I'm going to do here is devdb.com. That's my global name. So, okay. And then the last thing you want to do is create SP file from P file. You want to make sure you do that because if you don't, the next time you try to start up your database, it's not going to start up, and it's going to be because you do not have your SP file copied from the P file. So you want to make sure you do that. So we're pretty much done with that. Now we're going to change the database ID for this new database because right now the database ID is the same as test database, test DB, see it. So let's go ahead and go through this. Shut down immediate. Okay, startup mount. And as you all can see, I'm just copying and pasting these last things. Okay. Then we're going to exit out. Okay, net target equals. Okay, and here you just want to say yes. This is going to change the ID. It says it right here, change database ID of DevDB. We want to say yes. So that's going to take a quick second. So then we're going to log back into the database once this is done. Okay, it says it completed successfully. We're going to start up mount again. See how database stuff is so repetitive, but you gotta love it. It can get you in trouble when you're not paying attention, but for the most part, it's a lot of repetitiveness. Okay, so alter database, open, reset logs. And at this point right now, we can open up another terminal and we're gonna go check the alert logs and just clean up some stuff. So I'm gonna CD to Oracle. Well, first let me set the profile DevDB. And we're gonna CD to Oracle base, CD to DIG, RD, We're going to go into DefDB, cd into alert, and we're going to view log.xml. Now remember, this is a copy of TestDB originally. So what I would do is I would scroll down to the bottom with Shift G, and I would check the time here. If you look, it has 3/24/25. That's today's date. Let's make sure. Yes, 3/24, 2015. And if you look at the time, it says 9:23. Right there, 9:24. So we know that our alert log is doing as it should. Okay, so we are out of there. The next thing we want to do, let's make sure this is done first. Database altered. So the next thing we want to do is we want to find and remove the old SID. We want to remove all references. So let's go back to the other terminal. We're going to cd to Oracle Home, pwd. We're in DevDB. So what I would do here is I would do find.name, and I would do testdb, because you want to get rid of all references. You want to see if there's some, and right now you can tell there are some, right? And you also want to do find name testdb, just to see what you have. So you only have one thing, right? So I have a script here. I can never remember this one by heart, but we're going to do find.name. It's going to be testdb first, and then we're going to come copy the rest of it. And this gets rid of everything with just this one command. So now we're going to do the same thing for lowercase. And so now if we go back and do those first two commands, you will see that they don't return anything. So our references to the old database is now gone. And guess what? Our clone is completed. Just to show you all, let's shut it down and start it up. And I'll just leave it at here, but I hope you all enjoyed this process. I will do a hot clone later today or tomorrow, and that should be shortly. A hot clone is going to be slightly different than this cold clone. So now we'll start it up. If you get anything about your control file, you did not copy over that SP file. You did not create that SP file from P file. But as you all can see, it came up. We're done. So if you all could like, subscribe, comment, ask questions, send me an email. OracleDBA Girl, signing off. God bless you guys. Happy studies.